5th, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. There was a bit of an incident last night in Albuquerque, New Mexico at a Donald Trump rally when anti-Trump protesters apparently turned violent. Windows were broken. There were reports of tear gas being fired back by the police. Reminded this observer of 1968 all over again. It's worth reading. Meanwhile, yesterday, the American comedian Bill Cosby was ordered to stand trial, criminal trial, in a sexual assault case in Pennsylvania. This is the first instance of a criminal prosecution in the ongoing saga of Cosby's alleged decades-long pattern of sexual misconduct. However, unlike several of the other civil suits pending against him, his insurance company will not have to pay the bill for this one. Currently, Cosby is embroiled in at least 7 civil lawsuits filed by 13 accusers in 3 states, charging defamation, sexual assault, and sexual battery. In at least 3 of the defamation suits, his insurance company, AIG, is paying for his defense. AIG is on the hook because Cosby's homeowner policies feature, quote, personal injury coverage that includes protection against accusations of defamation. AIG has paid at least $2 million defending Cosby already. However, they won't have to pay in the case of a criminal trial, according to the New York Times. Attorneys have occasionally been successful in arguments that insurers should cover criminal defense, but it's very rare. The term suit is usually defined as a civil action, meaning criminal charges don't qualify for the same protection. AIG doesn't even want to pay for the civil cases, and they have argued that the sexual misconduct exclusion clause in Cosby policy should get them off the hook. However, a judge ruled that since he was being sued for defamation, the exclusion didn't apply. AIG is appealing that. An earthquake measuring 5.6 on the Richter scale struck just south of the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea at 11:30 a.m. local time this morning. It was felt in the capital of Heraklion and also in Lasiti. Vibration was intense. Many people rushed out into the streets. There have been no reports of any injuries. Flood damage in Britain from the winter storms that struck the island has resulted in claims for more than 15,000 homes and businesses, and is likely to lead to payouts of about 1.9 billion US. The Association of British Insurers is providing this figure. They've said that about 85% of those claims have been fully or partly paid already. Flood Re, which is a government industry scheme to cut insurance costs for homes in flood risk areas, launched last month, but that will only apply to policies taken out from April of 2016. We noticed this: the French reinsurance company SCOR issued 500 million euro dollars in long-term bonds for general corporate purposes earlier today. The coupon was set at 3.625%. Fitch Ratings rated the bonds at A-. They're going to be used for general corporate purposes, as I mentioned, but according to another story, it seems that SCOR is going to use the proceeds from the bonds to pay off the balance of its 6.15% bonds that they have coming up due in July. This will result in SCOR with a net of about 2.5 points in interest. Smart move for them. The notes also included a mandatory interest deferral feature that will be triggered automatically if SCOR was unable to meet the Solvency II requirements at any quarter. A section of the embankment of the River Arno in central Florence collapsed earlier today, sending part of the road and at least 20 parked cars into a gigantic newly formed ditch. The collapse took place very near the famous Ponte Vecchio, which is a medieval covered bridge across the Arno. The hole is about 650 feet in length and about 25 feet across. Thousands of people in central Florence are without water. The failure of a water pipe apparently precipitated the collapse of the embankment. French police have broken up a fuel depot blockade in northern France earlier today. It was being staged by a hardline union called the CGT Union, which immediately called a strike at a nuclear plant north of Paris. The French government has mobilized its strategic oil stocks because of shortages at dozens of gas stations in the area as a result of the fuel depot strike. Apparently, the police had to use water cannons earlier today to dislodge about 80 unionists who were blocking a fuel depot at Douchy-les-Mines. The union then voted for a 24-hour strike beginning tonight at 7 p.m. at the Nogent-sur-Seine nuclear plant. The strike is unlikely to lead to blackouts, even if it spreads to France's other 19 nuclear plants because of a vast network of power interconnections with neighboring countries that allows France to tap into Euro supplies in the event of any shortfall. Meanwhile, the government in Cuba has announced that it's legalizing small and medium-sized private businesses. It's the latest stage of reforms begun when President Raul Castro took over from his brother Fidel in 2008. Raul has been trying to stimulate Cuba's stagnant economy, but has faced resistance from Communist Party hardliners in Havana. Interestingly enough, now there are people in the Cuban government to the left of the Castro brothers. The government currently allows self-employment in several hundred job categories, from restaurant owners to hairdressers. It's only a matter of time until the situation down there is completely normalized. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.